Welcome to What the Tech, the show that cuts through the hype and gets straight to the point. Let's dive in.
So, you've probably seen the headlines. Tech titans, A-list celebs, major political players, they're all freaking out about AI and demanding we hit the brakes. The big question is this a genuinely noble quest to save humanity, or is it just a bunch of high-profile nonsense?
All right, let's break this down. On the surface, it seems pretty clear. You've got this supergroup of influential people calling for a total ban on developing superintelligence. You know, AI that's smarter than any human, until we can be absolutely sure it's safe and under our control.
And the list of people who signed this thing is, well, it's a trip. We're talking the actual godfathers of AI, Yoshua Bengio and Geoffrey Hinton. You've got tech royalty like Steve Wozniak and Sir Richard Branson. And then it gets really weird. You have Steve Bannon and Susan Rice, from complete opposite ends of the political universe, plus guys like will.i.am all on the same page. In total, over 800 big names.
And it's not just an echo chamber for the elite. Turns out, a lot of regular folks are on board too. A recent poll shows a whopping 64% of American adults want an immediate pause on building this advanced AI. So yeah, the fear is definitely real.
But here's where the story gets a little awkward. If this all sounds kind of familiar, that's because it is. A nearly identical letter went out in early 2023, and you know what happened? Nothing. Crickets. The industry just shrugged and kept right on building.
Which brings us to the real question here. Is this a serious policy proposal, or is it just what some are calling a performative pause? It's time to cut through all the PR and see what's really happening.
There's one quote that just absolutely nails the skeptical take on this. This is another morality play dressed up as policy. Basically, the argument is that this isn't about making a real difference, it's about looking like you care. It's pure performance. And that's the bottom line, isn't it? You can have all the public fear and celebrity signatures in the world, but if there's no real plan, no way to enforce it, no actual laws, it's just theater. Popular opinion without actual power is just noise.
So let's get specific. Let's tear this thing apart and look at exactly why this letter, for all its star power, is completely toothless. There are 3 fatal flaws that basically doom it from the get-go. First up, the definition problem. The letter says, pause superintelligence. Okay, great, but what is that? Seriously, nobody can agree on a concrete definition. There's no test a regulator can use to say, yep, that's superintelligence, shut it down. And if you can't even define the thing you're trying to ban, you can't ban it, period.
Second, we have the consensus trap. The letter demands we wait for broad scientific consensus on safety. That sounds super responsible, right? But it's a classic move to ensure nothing ever gets done. In a field moving this fast, consensus comes after the tech is out in the wild, not before. Waiting for it is a recipe for permanent inaction.
And the third, and maybe the biggest flaw, is just geopolitical reality. A global pause means every country has to agree. But come on, we're in the middle of a global AI arms race. The idea that every major nation is just going to hold hands and agree to stop, it completely ignores national security and economic competition. It's a fantasy, a non-starter.
Okay, so we've established the letter is pretty much just hot air. So what would work? If we were actually being serious about governing AI, what would that look like?
First, we have to change the vocabulary. We need to ditch vague, fluffy words like pause and start using words that have legal teeth. Words like constrain to set hard limits, verify to demand independent proof of safety, and contain to have a real plan for when things go wrong. That's the language of real rules.
And what does that mean in practice? It means creating policies that actually have consequences. We're talking about things like forcing companies to get a license just to train a massive AI model, forcing them to undergo mandatory safety audits from third parties, making them legally liable for the bad stuff their AI does, and controlling the massive amounts of computing power needed to build these things in the first place. See, these are rules that actually bite back.
So, when you boil it all down, it's a choice between 2 paths. Are we going for a splashy press cycle that makes everyone feel good for 5 minutes? Or are we going to do the hard, boring work of making real policy?
And the choice couldn't be more stark. The open letter gets you headlines, it gives everyone who signed it some moral cover, it's public therapy. Real governance, on the other hand, is about licensing, audits, and liability. It's not sexy, but it's the only thing that creates actual, enforceable constraints on this technology.
So here's the final takeaway. If you are genuinely serious about managing the risks of AI, there's only one thing to do. Stop writing letters, start writing laws. Everything else is just a performance.
So what do you think? Is this letter a crucial step or a complete distraction? Let me know in the comments. And if you appreciate analysis that doesn't pull its punches, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching What the Tech.